Mint is still $15 a month for premium wireless. And if you haven't made the switch yet, here are 15 reasons why you should. 1, it's $15 a month. 2, seriously, it's $15 a month. 3, no big contrast. 4, I use it. 5, my mom uses it. Are you playing me off? That's what's happening, right? Okay, give it a try at mintmobile.com/switch.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, $15 per month equivalent required. New customer offer first 3 months only. Then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.
Welcome to Growing Your Team, a podcast designed for small business owners seeking to grow their company with the help of employees and contractors. Your time is limited, which means growing and leveraging teams is essential for business success. The Growing Your Team podcast is the place to learn tips and techniques designed to help you know when it's the right time to hire, how to select perfect fit team members, and how to maximize productivity while creating a positive work environment. Drawing from her 10-plus years of leadership and hiring experience, here is your host, Jamie Van Kuyk.
Hello, Jamie Van Kuyk here, and welcome back to the Growing Your Team podcast. Here we are at the start of 2022, and of course, I'm kicking off the year with getting this episode up a little bit late. Last year, planned out all the rest of my episodes for 2021, recorded them all, a bunch of them in October to go for the rest of the year, got them edited, got them scheduled to go, and failed to look ahead that the episode that would be going live today, January 4th, was going live right after I was getting back from vacation. So I had made plans to record late at night on the 3rd when all would be quiet in the house because it would be the only time possible. And well, that didn't happen because life happened. But here we are. We are kicking off another year of the podcast. We are just a few weeks away from the podcast hitting its 2nd anniversary. So I'm so excited about that. And it's going to be another great year of giving you guys tips on how to hire and lead the best team members for your company. If you are interested in being on the podcast and you have something to talk about when it comes to hiring or leading teams, connect with me. Send me an email at jamie@growingyourteam.com. Tell me what you would like to speak about, and we'll see if it's a fit for the podcast and get you scheduled. But let's jump into today's topic. Now, seeing I'm recording this on Tuesday morning and not ahead of time, we're going to do something a little shorter today. I'm going to push off the topic I originally was thinking about speaking about today, and you'll have to wait 2 weeks for that one. And I'm just going to talk about something really quick that has happened to me recently and why I think it's a great thing for you guys to realize in your business as you are growing your team and developing new positions for your company. So, as you know, if you've been a loyal listener to the podcast or have gone back and listened to a few of the episodes, in May of 2021, I hired my very first team member. So they started in May, so I think it was like end of April, mid-April that I really started the hiring process. That team member left in December. So they were only with me 7 months. And many people would be like, oh my God, 7 months, an employee left. What went wrong? Oh, I don't want to go through training again. I don't want to go through the hiring processes again, and kind of view that team member leaving as a negative. But as I talked about a little bit in the episode about stop resenting your employees that leave, this employee leaving was actually a good thing. And before we get any farther in that, and before your mind starts running about why, this employee was amazing. She was awesome, and I would have kept her on the team forever if I could. But it was still a good thing that she left. And here's why. Here's why it was a good thing that she left, both for her and for the company. But let's talk about for her for a second. This employee, when she left, she told me why she was leaving. Now, she was only working for me 10 hours a week when she started. At that point in time with business, the way everything was, I couldn't afford a team member for more than that. And probably when I was initially hiring, didn't need a team member for more than 10 hours a week. She was working a full-time job as well. One that with working 40 hours at that job, working 10 hours a week with me, it was a good balance. But I knew realistically, when you hire someone for just a few hours a week, and especially if they have a full-time job on the side, they're not going to be able to do that forever. Something is eventually going to give to make it so they don't want to be putting in that much time or effort if things can change. And part of the time you'll find when you're hiring a part-time team member who's also working a full-time job is sometimes they are able to advance in their other full-time job or get a promotion or get a better paying job that makes it so they don't necessarily need to be working extra hours at another company as well. It's just the fact that when you hire someone for just a short time, just about each week, they're not always going to be the team member. They're not always going to be able to give you those hours. And that's just a fact. You got to realize that when you hire part-time team members, most part-time team members are temporary. But back to her. So she was working for me for a few months. And then she started to realize something. And this is what she told me when she turned in her notice. She started to realize that I was doing something her employer wasn't doing at her full-time job. Her boss wasn't doing. And what was that? It was valuing her as a team member. And this isn't just valuing the work that she put out, but valuing who she was as a person, making her feel that they cared about her and not just the work she was producing. So she realized that this was lacking in her current position and decided that she no longer wanted to work for a company who didn't value her. So she started looking for a new opportunity. And so far, that opportunity that she found seems to be amazing. It's supporting her passion for the industry she wants to work in. It's a company that appears to really value their team members. It gave her an opportunity to move closer to family. And it's giving her so much that it's just this great opportunity for her. Of course, this new opportunity meant, because the demands of that new job made it so it would be difficult for her to continue working 10 hours a week for me. And while she really valued me as an employer and how I made her feel as a team member, she had to make the tough decision to leave. And I respect her completely for that. I feel that as a business owner, we need to recognize that our job is just a job for our team members. And sometimes that job is going to be the perfect fit. And sometimes that job's not going to be the fit anymore. And we need to value our team members as people and understand that they need to make the decisions that's best for them. And that's what my team member did. And I couldn't be happier for her. Like, she found the job that was right for her. And yes, it meant that she had to leave me, but her making that decision was the best decision for her. And like I said, we have to value our team members' decisions to do what is right for them and best for them, and not be selfish and want to keep them because they do amazing work for us. But as I said when we started, this was also a good decision for her and a good decision for the company. And let me tell you why it worked out really well for growing your team. Now, obviously, I said, like, she was an amazing worker. She produced great work output. She was efficient. We operate sometimes a lot in the gray area, and she was able to understand that gray area wonderfully without me having to explain it a million times. Like, she caught on to things so quickly, and I was so impressed, and I just loved having her on the team. But here's why her leaving was a good thing for growing your team. And this is something that is important, that as a small business, especially when you're developing new positions, that you might realize in your company as well. When you hire a team member for a new position, or even a position that you've had for a while, but your business is growing and changing, your team member needs change. The position that you hired someone for might not exist in the same light 6 months later, a year later, 2 years later, even 5 years later. Things change, they evolve. And sometimes those positions evolve. And if you try all the time to mold your current team into those positions, it might not be what's best for the company. So for my team, obviously I said my team member, she was working for me 10 hours a week part-time. Growing your team grew significantly in 2021. I needed more help than 10 hours a week. I needed at least 20 hours a week. So I needed to double the time I had a team member. My team member couldn't give me 20 hours. As I said, she was working a full-time job. I talked to her about it. I made sure that I wasn't making decisions about her life for her. I gave her the opportunity, said that this is available. Do you want it? It's okay for you to say no, but I want to present it to you first. And, she told me that she thought about it for a few days and came back and said that no, she couldn't give me more time. And without being able to, she needed to be able to balance life as well. And so then I was trying to figure out, how do I keep this team member that I love and get the additional help that I need? And I was really struggling with it. I felt like I was adding more handoffs to a process than it needed. Because if I thought about what I was doing in the process and what my current team member was doing in the process and what I could bring in another person to do, it was starting to feel clunky. It was starting to not make sense. So I remember the day before my team member turned in her notice, I had a feeling that the conversation was coming because she asked if she could, speak with me outside of our normal meeting times and everything. So I remember being on a mastermind that I'm a part of and saying, okay, I need to get this position up and posted, but I feel like tomorrow my team member is going to tell me that she's leaving. I just have a feeling that she's going to be telling me that she has another opportunity or she can't work a part-time job anymore and she's going to be leaving. And I remember telling him, I'm like, as much as I don't want her to leave, as much as I highly value this team member and would love her to be a team member forever and be able to morph into a senior leadership position inside my company as the company continues to grow, right now I actually think it'd be the best if she left. And we talked about that, and I explained about how the position I need is one person to do this next level and not have these additional handoffs and not create more layers in a business than what it really needs at this moment in time. And if I'm thinking about things from a business perspective and taking the current people out of the process, this is what is needed. One person to do 20 hours a week instead of trying to balance two people doing 10 hours a week. And so the next day when my team member did turn in her notice, it was almost kind of like a relief taken off my shoulders in the way that now I could hire for what my business currently needed instead of being restricted by what it had. And with my case, my team member actually had her first day yesterday. Everything worked out for the best. That there was that perfect time for an exit that I could fully support that team member in, even if I didn't have that additional need to evolve and change the position, would have supported her 100% going into this new opportunity because as she said, I value who my team members are as people, and this was what right for her in her life. But having that opportunity to really take the people out of the equation and make the positions, the flow and everything that was right for my business, is something that I feel like most businesses miss and they overlook. And they're so stuck on, I can't train, I can't fire someone, I can't adjust things. I need to work with what I have and tweak things, instead of saying, what I have doesn't work anymore, and I need to make the tough decisions that are going to move me forward. And that is something I want you to look at this year. I want you, as your businesses continue to grow and you need more help, to really look at what you need instead of looking at what you have and how it can be tweaked. Maybe once you figure out what you need, the people that you have are able to fill in those positions exactly as you need them. They have those talents. They want to expand. They want to adjust what they're doing in order to fill those roles for you. Now, it was 2 years ago that I recorded this episode, but I believe Jenna Corelli, on the very first guest episode that went live on the Growing Your Team podcast, that's what she talked about. You know, she had some mishaps with her team at first, but then she's been able to grow and evolve her team based on what she needed and kind of talking to people. Okay, I need this. And, you know, do you want to fulfill this role? Because this is what I need. And being able to have people move up into her needs because they were ready and they were willing and they had the talents to move into that position. So you might not have to scrap everything that you have, but you need to make your decisions off of what your business needs. And then balance that with the people that you have. And understand, once again, going back to valuing your team, that when positions change, your team members might not want that new position. It might not fit their goals. It might not fit their family needs, their lifestyle needs, their work desires. And when that happens, it's okay. And what I mean by it's okay that that person does not fulfill what you need. You do not have to keep them in a position and keep them on a team if they no longer fit. And that fit could simply be that their desires and wants no longer fit the needs of your company. And what do you do in a situation like that? You help them realize that it's no longer a fit for them. Help them, and then do what you can to help them find what is right. Create an exit plan that works for them. You know, start possibly hiring and going through the process on your side at the same time that you're encouraging them to go through the interview process elsewhere, connecting them with people that could be hiring someone that is the right thing. So you don't have to say, okay, you don't want this role, you don't want this position, goodbye, you're done. You can support them, you can value them, you can help them get to that next level. You have the power to value your team members, while at the same time being business focused with your decisions internally and what your positions and what your company team needs to look like. So build the team that is best for you in 2022 and support your team members as they find the opportunities that are right for them, whether that's with you or outside your company, because let's value our team members in 2022 as well. Let's make sure we are people focused and growing the teams that fit for us and our employees.
Thank you for joining us for this episode of Growing Your Team with your host, Jamie Van Kuyk. Be sure to subscribe and head on over to growingyourteam.com to connect, access the show notes, and discover more ways to hire and leverage your perfect fit team.